And then, alcohol is kind of is one of those industries, isn't it? So you've got to be careful around your reputation. I guess one of the biggest risks that we would have as a corporate risk would be that we'd go the way of cigarettes, where a lot of markets are dark, where you can't advertise, for example. And we're very conscious as well of the bad publicity that can come on that. So from alcohol, if it's abused. So a lot of work has gone into being a leader in responsible drinking. And I'm sure in your industries there will be things that you really need to consider. And the thing to do with these is just front them up. Yeah, the abuse of alcohol is a huge issue. So what you do is you work very hard as an alcohol company to try and address that. I'm sure in industries, whether it's pollution or whether it's CO2 or whatever, it might be a big issue for you. The way to deal with it is head on. And a lot of other stuff going on. It's the biggest water charity in the globe now. DIAGEO runs, bringing water to a lot of people. And the impact of that is hugely significant. Where kids can go to school so that they don't, rather than going off to collect water. Women don't suffer sexual abuse as they're going to, or attack as they're going off collecting water and all of that sort of stuff. So just getting water in villages can be a huge thing. And companies like ours and the ones that you sit there can have this massive impact on society and in the areas that you work. So you should kind of think about that. I'm sure you should, if you don't already. And you can get on and really not just do good, because doing good is a good business anyway, as the saying goes. So that's a massive quick rattle through. As they said, get through in 20 minutes. So I got through in 20 minutes. Still got 10. I can go back again and do all the slow bits, do it slower. Or I can ask this question. So listen, what I was asked to do was asked to talk about supply chain in a big organization and how it can impact on an overall business performance. And I think what you'll see there, right across many aspects, it has a huge impact. Supply chain was not a significant part of DIAGEO for many years. As I said, it was a brand and marketing and sales-driven organization. That's changed completely. Now you've got to earn your right, I guess, to be there. I mean, 5 years ago, we didn't have a supply guy on the DIAGEO executive. Now he's one of the most influential guys on the DIAGEO executive. And I think that came about through doing some of the stuff that we've done there. So I hope you did get some ideas and that as supply chain guys, you can go off and figure out what you're going to do in your own companies. So time for questions, if you've got any.
I see you're using, I'm assuming, the Supply Chain Council score model to a degree.
To a degree, yeah.
How did you get the buy-in to that? Because I guess one of the challenges for a lot of us is trying to get some common objectives and views of the world from your objectives, which I'm assuming you've had to have buy-in to roll out across your markets. So how did you achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't use it. I mean, I think you can use a score model at all sorts of different levels, and you can assess yourself, and you can use all that sort of stuff. The way simply we use it is that it kind of makes sense. Plan, source, make, move. That has a language that people understand. Yeah, and we created programs and activities around each one of those. And actually, then you just communicate in the organisation the impact of those activities, and people buy into it and say, "Hey, there's something here in supply chain that's going to be worth thinking about for the business." I'm not sure if that's your question.
Well, I guess it's. I mean, I've implemented it before, and it's difficult, and I guess it's. Are there easier ways in a way than the way I did it? Because obviously you've only got your own experience to go on.
Yeah.
But what. I guess a lot of us aim to try and get some common objectives, because otherwise you're a functional drift, and that's not healthy in a way. It doesn't help you to bring supply chain up in your agenda, or to get the buy-in across the business that you need, and maybe to get the focus in the areas that you need in supply chain to try and improve them. So it was just really, have you managed to join the execs, I suppose, for a better word, together to say, here's our KPIs, here's what we're measuring, here's what the impact of you not delivering has on you, and how do we get the focus into, you know, really highlight your continuous improvement areas?
Yeah. Okay, so I think the most significant thing is the simple performance metric that we put in place. Because you can do all sorts of stuff, build capability programs and talk about supply and all the rest of it. So the 16 balanced KPIs that we've got across plan, source, make and move, and the ranking, funnily enough, of the market supply chain has caused the GMs of the markets to sit up, especially if they're down the bottom, or even if they're up on the top, you know, and they'll talk about it. It's, that to me was something that has been very, very significant in our journey, all right? Because that's an emotional thing. When you capture people emotionally then, you can then talk about all the other stuff that's actually going on. So how can we work supply with sales to do route to consumer stuff? You know, and I also think it's making sure that your supply chain strategy is customer driven, and not just supply chain for its own sake. So how is this in service of the customer? Is it reducing costs so we can invest in marketing to drive sales to this, to meet the customer requirement, or whatever it is? Is it, you know, changing our network so we can reach those customers more effectively? So if you think about it from a customer back perspective, I think that helps as well, because it captures the minds of those who often have got more voice, especially in CPG companies that are more commercial. Yeah.
I just wondered, as you've gone through the transition of having sort of functional experts that were very much operating in their own sphere to people in supply chain taking a much wider business view and influencing top and bottom line, was it difficult to get the people who were employed to do the jobs to come on that journey with you? Did you have to invest quite a lot in staff development?
Definitely. Because in many, particularly supply chain guy, they're all manufacturing people. That was it. And you know, you might have had a few planners, you had no logistics guys because that was all contracted out. So, you know, so you then would have supply chain directors who are manufacturing guys, and they wanted to drive OE because that's what they do. Fantastic. And we all know that that's good, but from a supply chain perspective, it might not be good. So I think that's been quite a journey actually, to try and get the end-to-end supply chain understood within the company. And it has required actually people to be recruited in from the outside as well to achieve that. And you know, constant kind of reiteration of the need for balance, you know, so like OE is good, but what about inventory, and what about adherence to plan, and what about some of those other things? What about sales forecast accuracy? So that has been a journey. I wouldn't say we're quite there yet, but it's much more understood. And sales forecast accuracy is one of the KPIs that the market GMs are now measured on. They didn't give a damn about that about 4 years ago. We got on selling, if I can make it, send it, where are the trucks? I'm sure we've all heard that. So yeah, that's our experience anyway.
Yeah, do you think you're sourcing people for supply chain from a slightly different pool of people now? Because I know I've looked at our demand planning team and they've gone from being, you know, statisticians to mathematicians. That's not what I need anymore. I need somebody who can influence and drive sales managers' behaviours and relationships with customers and all of that. So have you seen a similar shift in what you actually need?
Yeah. So what we're looking to do at the moment, and we've started it, is that because a lot of the demand planners were kind of run models, statisticians and all of the rest of it. In fact, what we're looking to do is centralize that element. So base forecasts being developed in a central group of statisticians and all those kind of guys that will be then given to the demand planners in the markets. So then they can have the proper conversations, the proper overlays and all of the rest of it, so you can then get your get your proper demand plan. So the rough cut kind of demand plan, we've done it with about 4 or 5 markets now, and it's worked. Will be developed centrally by guys who are expert at that. And then you have different people who build relationships, challenge, and do all those things that create a proper demand plan. Yep. Oh, I thought you were asking questions. 3 minutes. Got 3 minutes for another question. All right, you can go away. Anything else? No? All right, well, that's it. I hope there's something in there for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.